I'm Luke McAvoy.
And I'm Tate Morris.
And you're listening to the Traffic Barrel Podcast.
Probably. I think you're wrong.
Oh, do you think that?
I think you're wrong.
Oh, do you think that?
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong.
Oh, do you think that? Oh, do you think that? I'm your host, Luke McAvoy.
And I'm Tate Morris.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
We've got some stuff to talk about. It's been an eventful month. Today is June 1st, start of a new month of 2024, or whatever year it is in your heart.
Forgot that was the bit last week.
Whatever year it is in your heart. For us, it's 2024, because that's what the date on my laptop says. What's happened recently? The Cheez-It Crunchwrap is officially here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been waiting for it. Early access on the app started this week for anyone who's a rewards member on the Taco Bell app, which I proudly am. Because here's the thing.
He is proud of this.
If you're going to Taco Bell and you don't have the Taco Bell app, you're doing something wrong. Because the Taco Bell app, every time, like every certain amount of points, which is pretty regularly if you go there a lot, you just get free things. But here's the thing. Here's the thing you're missing. Here's the thing you're really, really missing if you don't have the Taco Bell app. The Build Your Own Cravings box deal. You can get, as your main thing, a Crunchwrap, a Gordita, or a Chalupa. Then you get a secondary item, which can be a Dorito taco or a beefy 5-layer burrito, which is the best deal you can get through there. And you get either cinnamon twists or nachos and cheese, and then a drink. And you know what it costs you? $7. Crunchwrap alone, $6. You buy this whole thing, $7.
That's a fantastic deal because yesterday I bought a whole pizza and a tub of ice cream for only $8 at Aldi.
That's great. That's awesome.
Just saying.
I'm happy for you.
Pizza's better.
It's
well, then Taco Bell. Most pizza.
Taco Bell's no, I wouldn't say that. Taco Bell's great, but
Taco
that is
Bell,
the best deal. So if you don't have the Taco Bell app, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
That being said,
let's talk about specifically why you like the Taco Bell app.
I just talked about
why
I think
I think a lot of it is that you and James don't like to talk to people at Taco Bell.
Oh no,
you want to get there and be like, order for Luke McAvoy. Yep.
That's not it.
And then you go. Well, that's what happens though.
It is what happens. That's not the reason that I like to do it.
The extent of your human interaction is order for Luke or mobile for Luke McAvoy.
Yep. That's what happens.
No. Yep. All right. Then you get pull up, and they tell you the amount, and you go. No, they don't even do that.
No, because it's paid
you get on the app, and they just hand you here, and they say, "Have a good night," and you're like, "Yep, you too," and you're gone.
Yeah, that's the extent of my trip to the Taco Bell drive-thru.
Away from the experience.
No, it doesn't, because here's the thing. Number one, everything is infinitely more customizable on the app. You can just put anything on anything or take everything off of everything and not bother a worker with it. Because as someone who was a fast food employee for a long time, it gets really annoying. People are like, I don't want this, but I want to add this to it, but add this also and take this other thing away. It's really annoying. It's way easier when they just have pushed the buttons already, and all you have to do is say, great, thanks, here's your receipt. So love doing that. Because I customize almost everything I get from Taco Bell. I put Chipotle sauce on everything. I take some stuff off.
So I guess it makes more sense for you because when I go Taco Bell and I just get something that I know I like.
Right.
And it's all the same ingredients. It just depends on what
it's
order
like
it goes on.
And what combination of ingredients.
Customizing it just doesn't really make sense to me.
That does for me. Because
I want chicken soft taco with the things that you put on everything else. They're like, sir, that's already on there. And you said, yes, but now I feel like I have the illusion of choice. I mean, just kidding. The chicken soft taco, it just has like cheese and chicken and lettuce.
There's not that much on it.
But like, if you're going to customize it, what can you add? You can add...
I add chipotle sauce or nacho cheese. You can actually, when they have them, you can add nacho fries to literally anything. And I absolutely love doing it.
Like in the taco?
Yes.
Oh.
They make nacho fry burritos a lot of the time. I put them in Crunchwrap once in a while. But
why would you just want like French fries in your taco?
No, it works. It's real good. It's real good. It's like they had the spicy potato soft taco for a long time. I just like it better with nacho fries.
Wait, they don't have that anymore?
They still do. No.
Oh,
they have had it for a long time.
But that's different though, because that's just a spicy potato taco. That's not potatoes and chicken in one mash.
Yeah, that's better than just potatoes.
I don't know. Like if you made mashed potatoes,
right?
Would you dump a bunch of chicken nuggets in there?
Have you never had like a KFC famous bowl?
No.
Like this is a thing. I haven't even had it from KFC. This is like a thing we would do at like church growing up.
Mix
we would
the
like
chicken in with
we would
the
just
potatoes?
have a bowl of mashed potatoes and a line full of toppings like chicken and corn.
And you'd put it on
else.
the mashed potatoes?
Oh yeah, and just mix it all together. Put cheese and gravy in there. Like this is a pretty well known concept.
This is another one of the reasons why I don't like Ohio.
This isn't just Ohio. Like this is a KFC.
Well, I've never
thing
seen
that
it happen
else
anywhere else.
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty dang good. Love mashed potato bowls, man.
It's disrespectful.
Man, I should do that sometime soon.
Like, how can you disrespect mashed potatoes? It's like one of the world's most perfect foods, and you're like, I'm gonna throw other stuff on top of it. It's like it's mashed potatoes. It doesn't even need gravy.
Like, even
it's
the
just
cafeteria at college use that. Like,
I don't think using Baldwin as an example of what is good is going to help your case very much.
But it was the demo line thing. It was the demo line thing.
Well, Baldwin gives you really, really sketchy food. Like they served me meatballs. You were there, I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
It was like Monday was meatballs. Tuesday was Salisbury steak. And Wednesday was meatloaf. And it was all the exact same thing, but with a different topping on it. Meatballs, it was this big round thing. It's the exact same thing. They just put barbecue sauce on it.
Yep.
And then the next day, they put like gravy on it, and they're like, it's Salisbury steak now. And like, that's what we had yesterday. Yep. And then the next day, they're like, we're going to put burnt ketchup on it. And now it's meatloaf, which is another thing. Meatloaf is worse hamburger with burnt ketchup, and that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I love a good meatloaf. If you make meatloaf right, it's great. But anyway, the reason that I actually do love the Taco Bell app, which is what we were talking about a minute ago,
True,
is
I haven't had it
primarily the $7 Build Your Own Cravings box. Like, there is not a better deal on the Taco Bell menu than the Build Your Own Cravings box. And so, like, I would be perfectly willing to just go to Taco Bell and order in person if I could get the $7 Build Your Own Cravings box without using the app. But you can't. It's an online exclusive. And so that's the reason I go there so much. But the Cheez-It Crunchwrap, tried it last night.
Sounds good.
Well, it is an enormous Cheez-It the size of a Crunchwrap. And so they've replaced...
Which sounds good.
They've replaced the tostada that's inside the Crunchwrap with the big Cheez-It.
Which is a massive improvement.
Honestly, yes.
Because that's the worst part of a Crunchwrap.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a big corn chip in the middle.
I kind of like it. I like the crunch that it gives.
Yeah, but you like corn chips. I don't.
That's true.
I'm like, why would I want, like, a potato chips, like, less popular, irritatingly annoying cousin?
I generally like tortilla chips more than like corn chips. Like I don't just eat Fritos, but I like a good tortilla chip.
Chips are corn chips though. Like
I mean, kind of. They're usually made from flour tortillas. It depends on the ones you get. Like Tostitos are like corn tortilla chips, but
I'm pretty sure Doritos are too though.
I don't really eat Doritos that much. On the border, tortilla chips are like the best tortilla chips you can buy. There are not many there are not many like tortilla chips that I'll just eat by themselves, but those ones I will.
My dad will. If he goes to the grocery store, he will buy a bag of tortilla chips. And it doesn't matter if we already have one at home. It doesn't matter if we already have two and they're both open.
He's buying
He will buy, if he sees it, he will buy another bag of tortilla chips. And we're like, Dad, unless you make like cheese dip or something, which he does on occasion, but only occasionally, Nobody else is using those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why is that the thing that you just go, man, I really want some extra salty, really dry, irritating chips.
Fair.
And you know what? I don't want to be happy when I eat this food. Because that's how I feel when I'm forced to eat corn chips to like be polite.
Outside
oh,
of a dip,
thanks.
like if it's with a dip, is it fine or like
No.
Really?
Oh, with the dip?
Yeah, with a dip.
With a dip, it's fine.
Like, because I feel like,
but like the dip tastes better than the chip. I mean, you can just. This is why our friend Ashley makes really good buffalo chicken dip, and I eat it differently than everybody else. They put a bowl with their chips, and they dip the chips in the dip. And what I usually do, if I can, is I will put it in the taco shell. And
that's fine.
And eat it like that. Because it's like, why would I add a worse flavor to it? So you're not supposed to do that.
Scoops, bro.
They taste the same. I don't care what they look
Tostitos
like. They
Scoops
taste the
for
same
dip.
as just a plain corn chip.
But they're the best for dips, man. And no, putting it in another taco shell, that's not the problem. The problem is when you just put it in a bowl. That's not a dip at that point. You're spooning it.
I dipped the spoon in it.
That's not how you eat dip.
I mean, listen, it's dip, though. It's dip that is chicken and cheese. And I think there's a little bit of sour cream in there.
No,
and
it's
buffalo
ranch.
sauce.
It's ranch. There's a butt ton of ranch
buffalo
in it.
sauce. That is just like that's just food that you would make and that you would eat.
No.
It's just a little bit more runny.
It's a dip, man. You got to dip stuff in it.
But we don't. There's corn chips don't taste good.
They do in dips.
No.
They're like the
dip tastes good.
They're the perfect dip delivery.
And then the dip starts to disappear, and you're like, oh man, I can taste corn chip now.
No,
and
because
then I'm just sad.
No, because
why would I want to be willingly sad when I could just eat the dip?
They give you the crunch that adds to the texture of the dip that you're eating.
Personally,
they give you
I don't want my chicken
a nice
to be that
bit of
crunchy.
saltiness in there.
I don't want
and
my
they
chicken to be
deliver,
salty.
especially if you use like a scoop. I'm a big advocate for Tostitos scoops, in case you haven't picked up on that yet, because
I know.
they are the perfect dip delivery method. They just scoop the dip in there, they hold it in there like a little bowl, and then you eat that, and it's perfect. There's not a better dip delivery method for most dips.
I mean, there's things that don't taste like corn chips.
But corn chips taste
like
good
I
with
honestly
dips.
think I would rather take an avocado peel and just
what?
Because it doesn't taste like this ultra salty would you ever just grab a corn chip and just start eating those? If you're not going to eat it by itself, why would you mix it?
I just told you I would. Like, I will sometimes, especially, but if they're like, man, if they're on the border corn chips, man, I could eat a bag of those.
Is that a brand?
Yeah.
See, earlier when you said on the border, I thought you were like, I thought you made this trip to Mexico that I didn't know about.
No, On the Border is a brand of tortilla chips, and there is not a better brand of tortilla chips.
True, but there are other chips that are better. Like the worst potato chip.
You're really passionate about this corn chip thing, aren't you?
I hate them. You brought it up. I'm sorry. I
was just trying to talk about the
Crunchwrap,
Crunchwrap, bro.
The Crunchwrap again.
Anyway, stop that.
I do it on purpose. This happens. This is a thing that happens sometimes.
Yep.
We've known each other too long.
Yep. But anyway, I ate it. It tastes like a cheesier Crunchwrap, which is just better. It's a better Crunchwrap.
It sounds better.
It is. And you know, it's the next thing in Taco Bell's line of collaborating with brands that are all secretly owned by Pepsi. Starting, you know, they had the Baja Blast Mountain Dew as their signature thing.
Is Nabisco owned by Pepsi?
I think.
Doesn't Nabisco make Cheez-It?
I think so. I think they're owned by PepsiCo. I don't know. Google it.
I am.
Google if Pepsi owns Cheez-Its. But they did the Baja Blast Mountain Dew years and years and years ago. Love it so much. They did the Dorito Locos Tacos, which have been around forever. They've done like 3 or 4 different flavors. I think right now they're back to only having the nacho cheese, but they've done Cool Ranch, they've done Sweet Chili, and now we have the Cheez-It Crunchwrap. And the Cheez-It Crunchwrap is probably, I think I like the Cheez-It Crunchwrap.
So Cheez-Its are owned by Kellogg's.
Interesting.
So who owns Kellogg's?
Who owns Kellogg's? That's the question.
Kellogg's owns a lot of things. So
Right.
Maybe they just have.
Maybe they're just their own thing. I don't know. Google if Pepsi owns Kellogg's. Hold on. But anyway, yeah, I think I like the Cheez-It Crunchwrap better than like a Dorito Loco Taco. PepsiCo does not own Kellogg's, so I guess it's a different. That's my bad.
Frito owns Pepsi, right?
Frito owns
Or is it
Pepsi?
the
I thought it was
opposite?
the other way around.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, Frito-Lay and Quaker Oats are owned by PepsiCo, but Kellogg's.
No, Kellogg's is still.
Yeah,
It's
so they're
still
just
kicking by itself?
doing their own collab again. But anyway, definitely worth it if you have the app, as you should if you eat Taco Bell. Now through the 5th, you can get the Cheez-It Crunchwrap, and then pretty soon it'll be public for everyone to just buy, which is great because the only thing is, I don't think I'll be able to get it in the $7 Build Your Own Cravings box. I think you can only get I think you'll only be able to get a regular Crunchwrap in that. And it's like $7 Cravings box for a whole bunch of stuff, or $6 for a Cheez-It Crunchwrap.
Yeah.
That's the beauty and failure of the $7 Build Your Own Cravings box. It's an endless battle of decisions, but I will persevere.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Cheez-It Crunchwrap.
Cheez-It Crunchwrap.
Great stuff. Definitely pick one up if you can. Lots of music is released recently. So, I've listened to most of it, and you've listened to
that was quite the segue.
none of it. Yep, I have a list in front of me of things
I know
to
I
talk
can
about.
see it for the first
Yeah.
time. I can see your notes.
Well, because I don't usually have them, and today I was like, "What are we gonna talk about to fill this hour?" And I typed stuff up in Google Docs. It's exactly 4 bullet points. Lots of music's come out recently.
It's true.
I've listened to most of it, and you've listened to none of it so far.
No, I've listened to Clancy.
21 Pilots.
21 Pilots album. I didn't like.
You didn't pay that much attention
I
to
didn't
it.
pay it much attention. They watched the live stream of all of the music videos that they have for it,
We did.
and I was in the room
Yep.
for most of it.
But it was really good. I was really like that album compared to
That's
their
pretty
last one that came out 3 years ago now. It's 3 years.
What was the previous one?
Scaled and Icy. That one came out in 2021. It's a fun album for sure, but I think I don't know. It's definitely not quite up to par with most of their other music, except Blurry Face. I don't really like Blurry Face. That's my least favorite of their albums. Yeah. But I was really happy with that. It's been a week since that album came out. Really enjoyed that. The week before that, there was Billie Eilish. I'm a big Billie Eilish fan.
He is.
Was pretty happy with that album.
Would you say that you're happier than ever?
Ha!
Would you say
That was good. That was good.
I haven't listened to that one
Yeah,
either.
I like that one too. I have that one on vinyl. For those of you who don't know,
I listened to her first album, and I do like that one.
Yeah.
It had some pretty good writing in it.
yeah.
And then the second album.
There's one song on that album that's always a skip for me. But
Yeah,
the rest of it I really, really like.
There were some interesting choices lyrically.
Yeah. She has some of
Speaking
those.
of which,
Gosh. Yeah.
you and Ashley were talking about
The second track.
Yeah.
On,
and I was like,
on the
all
newest
right,
album, Hit Me Hard
how
and
bad
Soft.
is this?
It's pretty darn bad. That's usually a skip.
I looked up the lyrics.
Yeah,
to
it's
it.
bad. It's bad. Yeah.
My goodness.
There are some artists, especially Billie Eilish being one of them, is like where like I love the majority of their music, and then there's like one song per album that's just always a skip for me.
Yep.
Which like sucks, but I'm still gonna listen to the rest of it because it's good music. So, but yeah, that album was good. John Foreman, lead singer of Switchfoot, which you also love Switchfoot. He had a
just love
solo
John
album
Foreman.
come out yesterday.
I haven't heard it yet.
I am, I think, I think I have like the outro track, like the
I've
last
avoided
track.
like I haven't listened to any of the singles for it yet either. I was just avoiding it so I could just listen to
Yeah.
the whole thing. I don't even know what it's called.
In Bloom.
Oh.
It is a 12-track album, 39 minutes. So it's 39.
See, he knows how to release an album, right? You put work into these things for years and years and years, and then some people are like, "You're one of the biggest bands in the world," and you know what? After 7 years of writing this album, we have 9 songs.
Yeah.
In 7 years.
Yep.
That's it. That's so infuriating. And then you have people like John Foreman that's like, yeah, I wrote like 600 songs in the last 3 years, and I don't have enough time to record them all, so I'm just going to I'll record my own albums. I'll record with Switchfoot. I'll have 2 other bands on the side. And then you have people like Paramore that was like, yeah, after what it was about 7 years between
After Laughter and...
Yep. And they wrote, I think, 10
Called?
songs.
I don't even know.
Yeah, no one does because it's awful.
It was a bad album.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
I just wanted to complain about Paramore. That's why I went. I didn't know that I wanted to complain about Paramore.
Do it.
But I will because, their first album way back when, like 2003 or whatever. No, it's actually like 2005, I think.
Something like that.
It's All We Are Is Falling or something like that.
Something like that.
It is okay. It exists. It was their first band. They were like teenagers. It's fine. It's a good starting album. And then you have Riot. Fantastic. Great album. I still listen to it. And then you have what's the next one? I can see the cover, but the name is.
It wasn't the
escaping
self-titled
me.
one, was it?
No, that was the fourth one. The next one. It's the one with the butterfly.
Brand New Eyes.
Brand New Eyes. That one's also really good. It has songs that still just randomly pop into my head to this day and get stuck in there for weeks when I hear like 2 lines of it.
Yep.
And then the self-titled album, absolute gold.
Yeah.
After Laughter, great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed After Laughter too.
And then...
Is This Is Why the album title?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was just... I thought it was just the track. Okay. Yeah, This Is Why. 2023. February of 2023.
Then, I don't understand because Hayley Williams, right? Exceptional vocalist. And she's a really good writer. Until she isn't, which is really rather specifically their most recent album. It's just bad. It's so bad. I don't have enough words to describe how immensely disappointing that album was. I couldn't finish it. It's only 10 songs, and the longest one's like 3.5 minutes.
Which is saying a lot, because you love Paramore.
I love Paramore, but this album was so bad. It was like they gave up and said, hey, I really want to help this random, child that I met last Thursday in the mall. I want them to write the lyrics for this album. And then we're going to tweak it so that's worse than that.
Oh my gosh.
And then we're going to take 7 years to release it.
Yep.
And only have 10 songs, and they're all bad. It's infuriating.
And my problem even goes beyond the writing of that album to the way that it sounds. It's so poorly produced, and I don't know if that's the sound they were going for. But in what world do you want to go for the sound of poorly produced? It's even This Is Why, which was it's the title track and it was the first single. Even that one that was all over the radio isn't produced particularly well. It's catchy. But it's
but it says nothing.
No, it doesn't.
The chorus is, "This is why I don't leave the house.
You say the coast is clear,
but you won't catch me out.
Oh, why?
This is why." And then
they
she
never
doesn't
say
explain.
Why. They don't say why.
It says this is why, and then
what's why?
They have another.
What is why?
Instrumental.
Yeah. Oh, this is a side tangent real quick that's kind of related to this. It's
this is a side tangent.
It's
so this is
yes,
this
it's
is
a
in
side
the weeds
side tangent.
Of side tangent.
This is the wall tangent. It's all the way to the side. It's like the song "This Is How I Fight My Battles," where the only two lines are "This is how I fight my battles," and "It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you." How are you fighting your battles? It doesn't say. It just says, "This is how I fight my battles," and explains absolutely nothing.
Would you say that you're incensed about this? Is that?
Oh boy!
What if Luke's
that's not even a thing. You just wanted to trigger me.
I know.
That's not even a song. That's not even a word.
Incensed? Yeah, it is, and it means to be upset. Like I use that word correctly. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not used very often, but it is.
This
a thing.
guy, walking dictionary over here.
Yes, I have emotions.
That's true.
Anyway,
no, I just they never explain.
Yeah, there's
like,
a song.
This is how I fight my battles. How are you fighting them?
He's like, we're not talking about this.
This is a worship song.
What is the title of the song? It's like let incense arise.
Day and night, night and day.
Let incense arise.
Yeah, it's worthy of it all. And the rest of the song,
it's pretty good.
I actually have no problem with.
Yeah, and
then you get to this part of the song where it says, where it's the bridge of the song, where it says day and night, night and day, let incense arise, right? And that makes no sense. It makes no sense. They're like, oh, it's metaphorical from this part of scripture. I'm like, yeah, okay, then you have to explain that. If you have to explain it for it to make any sense, don't write it into the song.
Well, and also from like a writing standpoint, doing something like, I can't remember what the phrase is. When you have a series of words, they're just mirrored, like day and night, night and day.
Yeah.
Typically, if something like that is done, it's done for rhythm and rhyme. Like you do that so that you can have the rhyme that you want at the end of the line.
It doesn't even do that.
There is no rhyme.
It's not doing
in the bridge, unless they're trying to say night and arise are the rhymes. And if so, they
still did it wrong.
Failed.
They still did it wrong.
Who does that song anyway?
Oh,
we're coming for you.
I don't think it's Elevation. Hold on.
That won't be that hard.
Honestly. Let me see. Who sings that? Bethel.
Bethel?
It's Bethel.
You know, that makes sense.
Looks like it.
Bethel's very good at ruining other people's songs too.
It's just I don't understand.
This is how I'm going to get in trouble with any worship leaders. Because Bethel and Elevation.
Written by David Breimer and Ryan Hall. Yeah, it's just, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense if you have to explain it. And like, if you want to sing the song and explain it when you're doing the song, whatever, that's fine. I guess you can do it then. But if you have to explain it, why are you writing it in there?
Yeah.
Like, because especially if people are taking that in like a literal sense, right? In the modern American Protestant church, no one is using incense in a worship service.
Yeah.
Like, that's a historical thing in like, especially old Catholicism, but no one's doing that now. So why are we saying it? It doesn't make any sense. If you have to explain the metaphor, then it's not a good metaphor. Like, it's so stupid. So stupid. Anyway, that tangent's out of the way now. But yeah, Paramore's last album sucked.
Yeah, we can go back. What were we talking about before that? John Foreman.
Yeah, John Foreman. John Foreman's great.
Yeah.
John Foreman doesn't suck.
Yeah, he's an exceptional lyricist. He has great style. He varies his style wildly with every release that he does.
Well,
and even Switchfoot, they change like the sound in every album.
Yeah.
And then with his solo releases, you have stuff that's like, this album is going to be like rock. And the next one's like, yeah, this is like folk rock that is blues, but also it's never in a standard mode.
Right.
You listen to the Wonderlands?
I don't think so.
Like, so it's 25 songs.
Wow.
In that
That's
group.
a long
Because
album.
what he decided to do was he was going to write one song for every hour of the day. And each one has, like, in parentheses, the hour of the day that's supposed to correspond to.
Oh, cool.
After the title. But then he wrote 25 and titled it, like, in the parentheses, it's 11:30 a.m. instead of just 11.
That's great.
And so that 25 songs for 24 hours. And most of the songs on that album are not in what's the standard mode for music, generally speaking.
Just like, what do you mean?
Like not Mixolydian, not what's the standard that's?
I don't know. I have a music degree, but I didn't pay attention in theory. Modes are stupid.
Anyway, he writes
just
some,
play
like,
the song, and if it sounds cool, play it that way.
Different modes for most of it, just because he can. Like I don't think he had like any like formal music theory training, but
Right.
he's good at it.
Yeah, he's good at what he does.
He just like he writes these crazy things that sound good, and sometimes they really shouldn't, but they do.
Yeah,
And they get stuck in your head, and it's actually words that are worth like having bounce around in your head,
right.
instead of all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies. What oh, what oh, what oh. And then they're gonna say,
Queen
if you like it,
Beyonce.
then you should put a ring on it like 4 times.
Queen country
and
artist
repeat it
Beyonce.
again. Oh my goodness.
I haven't listened to the Beyonce country album. I feel like I should.
I never will.
I will. I almost certainly will. I don't listen to Beyonce.
You know why? Because she writes songs like that. We had a friend one time say, okay, but look at this song. Listen to this one. And I listened to it, and I was like, you know what? You're right. This one is actually written pretty well. Her name is not on the list of writers.
Yeah.
She didn't write it.
Yep.
If her name is on the list of writers, odds are it's a bad song.
But sometimes a song being fun to listen to is enough. And that's why people like pop music. Because sometimes all you need is a song that's fun to listen to. Do you?
To an extent, I do.
Yeah, I know.
To an extreme degree. It's just like,
know.
listen, if it's not worth saying without the music, why is the song worth listening to?
Because it's fun.
That's our question. That's right in the comments.
You know, it gives me the option to put a poll on Spotify or like a Q&A on Spotify every time. That'll be the question.
Oh, listen, I know for a fact people are going to disagree with me.
I just sometimes
my own parents might even disagree with me on that.
Yeah, because sometimes if a song is fun to listen to, that's enough. Like yesterday at work, this guy that was like not too far from me has a speaker so big that he has to roll it around like a suitcase. It's got a handle and wheels on it. Mm-hmm. And he was just listening to rap music that I couldn't even hear the words to. Mm-hmm. And I was just having a grand old time down on my lane. Because we were just, I was dancing around over there. My boss came by and was even getting into it with me. It was great. We were having an awesome time. Because sometimes music being fun to listen to is enough. Because music is just as much about the music as it is the words of the music. And sometimes music is more about the music than the words of the music. And that's okay.
But should it be? This is its own podcast. This is
the answer is
talk
sometimes.
About for hours because we have. But anyway, what
it's fine.
Let's talk about the albums that you've listened to.
The albums that I've listened to.
Haven't.
Yeah. So we talked about two a little bit. 21 Pilots' new album, Clancy. So this is kind of like continuing their storyline, plotline thing that started. It really started with the Trench album that came out in 2018, but they've tied in all the way back through their 2013 album Vessel. I think it was 2013 that album came out. Maybe it's 2012. Because it's generally every 3 years, because then they have Blurryface in 15, Trench in 18, Scaled Nicey in 21, and now Clancy in 24. So every 3 years is their pretty consistent schedule for albums. But it's continuing like this lore story arc that really started with the Trench album. But they're being very much more straightforward about it in that they're like, yeah, hey, these 4 songs on the album have to do with the story and the rest don't. So, like, don't try to look into it because it doesn't matter. And that was convenient. But the album overall is really good. I think I liked it a lot better than the last one. The last one had some fun music on it. But this one, I think, I don't know, it does have a couple fun tracks. Like Lavish is so much fun because they literally wrote it to have an excuse to make a music video in suits and limos driving around Columbus, Ohio. Yes.
Vessel's 2013.
13, yeah.
Blurry Face is 2015.
Yeah, I knew the rest of them. I wasn't 100% sure on Vessel.
Gotcha.
Because I've been an active fan since Blurry Face came out in 2015, so I've kept track. I was listening to them before Blurry Face when Vessel was out, but Blurry Face was the first album that released when I was a fan of them.
I didn't start listening to them until, I want to say, late last year.
Gotcha. Oh, really?
Like,
like you had heard
I've
stuff
heard
from
songs,
them,
but I never sat down and went, I
Okay.
want to listen to 21 Pilots.
That's fair.
Because Switchfoot exists.
See, some of my favorite music that they've made is like the one album that like they don't even count as existing, which is Regional at Best.
The YouTube album?
Yeah, the album that you can sometimes find on YouTube. They released it when they first Regional at Best.
Regional at Best.
It's usually, you can probably find that on there. But that one released before they were like really popular at all. It was like the first thing they released, and like he's even said in interviews in the last few years, like, yeah, we pretty much just wrote that so we had music to play live. So like,
oh yeah,
it's not on Spotify. You can't like buy a CD of it unless it's like bootlegged.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, I figured it was probably on there.
9 minutes.
Yeah, I like that album a lot. It has like Slow Town and Glowing Eyes.
Why don't they just re-record it?
I wish they would, but they just don't care enough about that album to do it, pretty much, is what it's come down to. Which I guess is fair, but they apparently do care about it enough to be playing it live because they've been playing songs from that album as they've been playing shows in the last couple weeks with the album release. They played Slow Town for the first time live in probably a decade.
You should just ask for them to record it for Christmas.
Well, I was really hoping that they would play some because he posted like Tyler, the singer of 21 Pilots. He posted like several weeks ago, like he was looking at trying to plan out set lists for tour, and the whole Regional at Best track list was on the options, and I'm like, please play something. So I'm hoping I have tickets for October in Indianapolis, and I'm sure hoping that I get to hear some of the really old stuff that I like to listen to. But anyway, that album was really good. I was happy with it. Billie Eilish's album overall is, the feel of it is really cool. Like especially the whole like first half of the album.
What are you saying that
is mostly done with like guitars and drums and stuff rather than a lot of electric stuff, which is a little bit of a difference for her. But another thing she does which
is great because that was my biggest annoyance with her was
what
I felt was an over-reliance on like techno kind of sounds.
Fair.
More of a digital feel.
And I like that kind of music sometimes, so like that didn't bother me. But the guitar work on this album is pretty cool. Like it's not particularly like super skilled, but it sounds good. But then another thing she does several times on this album is the whole song will feel one way, and then it will just kind of fade for a second and come back as like a completely different song, but it's still part of the same song.
That is cool.
And so like
it's really hard to pull off, but when people do that well, it's really
really well, and
impressive.
so like she has L'amour de la vie is probably my favorite track on the album. And it's just kind of like this whole like upbeat kind of vibe that I love it, and I love the writing of that song too. But then it like kind of fades out for a second and comes back as just like, it almost sounds like European techno type thing, and is just completely different for the last 45 seconds of the song. But then she just last week released the like extended version that's just that part of it for 4 minutes basically. But yeah, it's really cool, at least from a musical perspective. And then her and Phineas, I think, are really good writers generally. Like I said, there's usually one track on each album that's just a skip because of the topic of the writing. But in general, I think the two of them write really well. And Phineas's music, man, I listened to a couple of his albums last summer, and it's just like real good. It's real good. Yeah, so I was really happy with that album. John Foreman's album, I'm almost all the way through. I have like one or two songs left. And I'll give that another listen, because pretty much my standard when an album comes out is I try to listen to it twice on the day of its release. One to just get the feel for it, and another to like really try to ingest it, pay attention to it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll sit down and just read the lyrics as I'm listening through the album, if it's an artist I really care about. So like I won't if an album comes out on a day that I'm working, I won't listen to it at work. I'll wait till I can get home, wear both headphones, and pay attention to it.
Yeah, if I buy a new CD, usually unless I'm like in the car
CDs,
for hours, I
said
do that
no
still.
one ever.
People used to say that all the time.
I'm just kidding. I bought CDs all the way through high school.
He's a little baby boy. When when I buy a CD, because I still do that. If there isn't a lyric sheet in there, I'm just upset and disappointed. So
then you have to get on Genius.com and find them all yourself.
Yeah, and they're often not right.
Yeah.
So one of the first things I do is I sit down and I read through all of the lyrics. Sometimes I even just do it twice. Just read the whole album first, because for me the lyrics are the most important part.
Right.
If you don't have good lyrics, I don't care how catchy your music is, and I don't care how good of a singer you are, I'm not going to listen to you. So like if I buy something, it's because I already I've come to respect the artist.
Right.
There aren't a lot of people that I will buy an album on like sight unseen. There's maybe like 6 or 7 artists. I'll be like, oh, there was a new album. I'm gonna buy it right now without hearing it.
Right.
Like anything from John Foreman, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Because I know that he's good. Used to do that with Paramore. That's never happening again.
Not after This Is Why.
Yeah, it's. I like to read through the lyrics because then it's easier to pay attention to them.
Right.
And also if you read the lyrics first, you can kind of like anticipate what's coming. Then you can pay more attention to the music.
Right.
Because it's hard to pay attention to everything at the same time for the first time.
Right. That's kind of why I give it 2 listens too. But like I said, I won't read the lyrics before I listen to the album, but I'll often read them as I'm listening to it for the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always try to generally what I have to say is if it's worth 1 listen, it's worth 2 listens. To really get a feel for the album when it releases. So generally, I'll probably listen to In Bloom by John Foreman a second time today because just to get a feel for that. Because that's just how I listen
to it today.
That sucks. It came out yesterday. I meant to listen to it yesterday and then just didn't get to it. Crowder also has an album out yesterday that I want to listen to.
I will probably listen to that one.
Yeah,
which would be the first Crowder album I've listened to since Church Music, I think is what it was called.
Wow.
Or Church Music 2, something like that.
That was a while ago.
And the only reason I listened to it is because he covered a Flyleaf song.
Right, you told me about that. Yeah.
All Around Me. I didn't like it.
I bet. I mean, replacing Lacey Sturm's vocals
I
with
might like it
David
now.
Crowder's.
Well, and it's also like that is like, they're a hard rock band.
Yeah.
It's not metal.
Right.
Their first album they got kind of close, and it was one of their first albums.
Yeah. She'll
so
scream once in a while.
It goes from that to David Crowder, where I'm pretty sure the only instrument is a piano, like an acoustic piano.
It's a completely different song.
I feel you all around me.
Yeah.
Instead of Lacey Sturm screaming that.
Borderline screaming the song. Like, man. It's got to be completely different. I don't think I've listened to it, but yeah, I imagine that's completely different.
And then,
but no, I liked his. I don't know if it wasn't his last album. I didn't listen to that one that much, but I Know a Ghost was really good because he's kind of finding different feels as new albums come out, and I like it.
I would say I think one of his newer songs I didn't like on the radio. What is it? I think it's Grave Robber.
Yeah,
I
didn't love Red Letters either.
Lyrically, it's like it's okay.
Yeah,
it's kind of sketchy, like theologically. It
fair.
doesn't like it sounds like it's not what he means to say, but it sounds
but it comes across that way.
Problematic.
I see.
If you pay attention to the lyrics.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. I'll give the album a listen. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah,
But-
I'll probably listen to it too.
Yeah.
I like his voice, unless anybody else is singing at the same time.
I was going to say, it kind of depends on what he's singing. Like, a lot of his real old music,
Yeah.
he's just so whiny when he sings, and it annoys the crap out of me. But the stuff he's been doing more recently, he's really settled into like a country feel,
Yeah.
a country rock feel, and it's a lot of fun. But sometimes he'll also have like trap drums. Like I really liked I Know a Ghost because it was like a combination of those things.
Yeah.
And that album was just like top tier. I loved it. But I don't actually listen to his music that much, like in general, but I'm always willing to give it a listen. But yeah, lots of new music's been coming around. I love it.
So how much time do we have?
We got about 15 minutes. Got about 15 minutes here.
minutes.
Yeah, left in the podcast.
We can talk about coffee for 15 minutes.
So this is another thing that was on my list of things to cover today. Coffee.
Also known as reasons why Luke should not be allowed to have an opinion.
So
There's a black squirrel crawling around our front porch.
Oh, that's our back porch.
Our back porch, that's
Yep,
true.
That's our back porch.
But it's the front porch, it's in front of me at the moment.
Ah, okay.
That's the logic I'm using. No,
Yep.
but he just crawled around it like he was hunting something, like down
Great.
low on all fours.
He thinks all of the
He's still
rocks
doing
are
that.
nuts.
Oh, now he's leaving. Now he's hopping.
All
All right,
right.
he's a normal
Bye,
squirrel.
squirrel. Anyway,
By the government.
coffee. We drink our coffee very differently. We both drink coffee.
Yeah, I drink coffee the way God intended, and he drinks it like a dirty, filthy sinner. Who's wrong?
Tate drinks his coffee black,
The way God intended.
like a cold-hearted monster. Because, I've tried. I've really tried.
You did that before the last podcast.
Yes, and definitely that's not what's in my mug.
Is that what's in your mug right now? Are you just drinking black coffee?
I'm trying so hard. Ha. Yes, I've been drinking black coffee for
This
this
is a big
entire
baby.
podcast. And I did, in fact, make it because I had this on the list of things to talk about.
And it's good.
It's so much.
I've had 2 Yetis full today.
It's so much not sweet enough.
It's only 12:35.
Yeah. It's so much not sweet enough.
That's why it's great.
I
It's not
wanted-
sweet.
I-
It's like savory, and I don't understand people like it's bitter. Listen, it's only bitter if you make it wrong.
That's not true.
Because if
Coffee
you have,
is
like,
naturally bitter.
nah.
Yeah. Like I've wanted for years to like just black coffee because it's
really
easier.
good.
But I've been trying.
It's easier
For like 4
it's
or 5
better
years.
For you. It tastes better.
It doesn't taste better. That's the
It
problem.
does, though.
That's the problem. The rest of those arguments completely valid. But
Like-
then I drink it and I'm like, why would I want this over something that tastes good?
Here's the thing. What people usually get when they're like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to get a coffee." It's like, "No, you're not. You're going to get a melted milkshake that you put some coffee into. It's just dairy and sugar. And there is coffee in there, but I do not believe that you can taste the coffee when
for
your
sure can.
coffee is the color of chocolate milk and the consistency of chocolate milk and milk.
You sure can.
Like if what you have is milk and there's some coffee in it, how can you say I'm going to Starbucks and getting coffee? It's like you're going to Starbucks and you're getting milk.
Well, because espresso, like generally it's espresso, and espresso is such a strong coffee flavor that you add that into a bunch of other stuff, and then it tastes like great coffee.
No, it tastes like milk ruining coffee.
Milk doesn't ruin coffee.
It just does, though. I've tried. Like, it's funny because reverse. You've tried to get into black coffee. I'm like, I'll try to drink the other stuff because it's actually easier to order, like, the kind of things that you
Not
get at
black
coffee
coffee,
shops.
yeah.
Like, if you go to a coffee shop and you ask them to get you, like, if you go to Starbucks and you say, hey, can I get a black coffee? They look at you like you are the worst person that they have ever encountered in their lives.
For good reason.
I had one try to tell me once, like, oh, well, it's going to be 15 minutes before we can get that done. But if you want something else, we can have that out for you right away. In my brain, I'm like, are you telling me that you are so fundamentally incapable of being an adult that you can't make a pot of coffee in less than 15 minutes?
Well, because they
or
don't
are you
do
telling me that you just don't know how to make coffee and you're used to making milkshakes that aren't frozen and you put some coffee juice in there?
They're generally pouring cold brew or making espresso shots the way people should drink coffee.
But cold brew was also just black coffee. They didn't have any of that. They didn't have any just black coffee on hand.
You can get black cold brew.
They tried to tell me it was going to take them 15 minutes. I was like, no, it's okay. I'll just get that. They had it ready in about 3 minutes. They just didn't want to make it because that takes effort. Because good things take effort. And good things are better than bad things.
That's why I make lattes.
Right? Good things are better than bad things, right?
So
right?
making
we all agree good things are better than bad things. Black coffee's better than whatever kind of garbage that he likes to drink.
No, because you see, you're right. Good things do take effort. And as we said just a few minutes ago, black coffee is easier to make, which is why
not according to Starbucks, it's not.
I go inside.
Who are you going to believe?
I use my espresso
Starbucks
machine.
Or this guy over here wearing a Carhartt hat and slippers.
Hey dudes. I'm wearing Hey Dudes.
Those are slippers.
They're so comfortable. Anyway.
That's another conversation we can have sometime.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I thought about it. I thought about shoes for today.
Real footwear.
But, we're not talking about that today. We're still talking about coffee. You tempt me. You tempt me with a different argument.
I know.
But us arguing is the fun of this podcast.
It's true.
That's why I put this topic on the list. But
good
things do usually take more effort.
Hold on. I want to take note. His note is literally argument topic coffee. Everything else just says Cheez-It Crunchwrap, recent music releases, and then it's argument topic
coffee.
That's it.
Because last week we didn't argue about anything. I'm like, what do I clip for the TikTok for the kids? How do I get the kiddos to watch our show?
You made fun of Batman.
Yeah,
and we have a friend that did not. And
that was the clip that went on TikTok. Yeah,
yeah.
That went on there.
I heard about it.
But last week I was like, well, what argument can I clip on the internet internets for the kiddos to watch our podcast show?
This is one of those rare instances where. Like everybody else in the world agrees with him.
Yeah. It's not a rare instance. He's usually just.
That's why I used quotation. I'm gonna throw this sawdust at you.
People listening to the podcast through their headphones can't hear your quotation marks.
Well, okay, they can hear the tone. This. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Just move on.
I'll move on. Black coffee's better.
Well, no, I want to look at something that you said in the context of this argument, because what you said is that good things often take more effort, and it takes a whole lot more effort for me to go inside, make a nice shot of espresso, and froth my milk, mix in the syrups, and put it all together and make a beautiful looking and tasting latte than it does for me to throw some coffee grounds in the Keurig and press start.
Okay, but if you're talking about taking the time to make coffee, then if you took the time to grind freshly roasted beans.
That's what I do when I make espresso.
For coffee, not just espresso, like a nice cup of a dark roast coffee. Medium and you take the time to make that, probably make a pot of coffee because it tastes better than just the Keurig. Because it's just like the proportions, I think aren't often right. You think having a cup of...
I think a pot of coffee...
How could it be a scam if it costs less?
I don't think it tastes any different. I think
you would have to make the argument that K-cups are a scam because they cost more.
I think that the fact that the idea that they taste different is a scam.
No, it's the different amount of like coffee grounds that are in it.
Sure.
Like that... Well, that's just a fact.
Okay, buddy.
Like there's more coffee...
Right. Yeah, okay.
In a larger amount of coffee than there is in a small amount of coffee.
Sure, buddy.
That's how that works.
Whatever you need to tell yourself. Man, I love coffee.
You love milk.
It's an iced coffee kind of day. I should have made some. I mean, my coffee's kind of room temperature at this point.
Black coffee.
I might make an iced latte later. Ooh, or I can make some cold brew. No, making cold brew takes a lot of coffee.
Hold on, we're gonna go back to this because listen, this is the problem. We could have started with this one.
Yeah.
You're like, I love coffee. No, you love milk, and I know this because if we get like a gallon of milk,
yeah,
there's only like one person in our house of all the people that visit that just walk into the kitchen and are like, man, I want a glass of milk.
And it's me.
And like, he does it.
It's
like,
me.
Again and again. We're like, where did all the milk go? They're like, oh, Luke was drinking it again.
No.
It's like, why would you drink the milk?
You know that I am not the primary consumer of our milk, you cereal-eating fools.
It's James, realistically.
You people eat cereal. I don't even eat cereal. Like twice a week, I go into the kitchen, I'm like, I'm going to have a glass of milk right now.
Okay, but in all fairness, the only person that has bought cereal in the last month is James and Matthew.
Yeah.
And James is the one that eats it every single day.
Yeah.
And sometimes at night.
Yeah.
But
so I'm not the one flying through the milk, but I do
for,
enjoy drinking it.
And then you are just like, hold on, I'm going to tap into when
Hold on a second.
When I was a child.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to drink more. I'm going to drink the milk.
Are you trying to tell me that the first thing people did with milk wasn't drink it, it was put it in cereal? Are you trying to tell me that that's what it's for?
I didn't say it was the first thing they did. I said that's what it's for. Yes, I did say that part.
You're dumb.
No.
Milk is for drinking.
No,
listen,
it's for
you sent me a video just last week of a guy on the internet saying, man, Americans have gone soft, and you know why? It's because they stopped drinking milk. Well, you know what? That's why I'm the toughest, hardest American that there is, because I never stopped drinking milk. I have so much calcium in my bones, bro, because I drink milk. Get on my level. Drink more milk. Don't eat it in cereal like a little baby girl. Are you 2? Do you need your Fruity Pebbles to consume your milk? No.
No, why would I buy I've never bought Fruity Pebbles in my life.
Do you need Raisin Bran?
No.
Do you need grape nuts? Do you need grape nuts?
Yeah.
In order to consume milk? No. Yeah. Drink it. Be a real boy.
Grape nuts.
Pinocchio.
Cinnamon Life. Cinnamon Life is good, man.
Cinnamon Life is good, man.
You know what the best part about cereal?
If I'm going to eat cereal, it has to be Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm not a cereal guy.
You have to mix things with milk for me to enjoy it. It's
like
just
coffee.
Like, it's not even no. If
coffee's a great thing to mix milk with.
No, putting milk in your coffee would be like having a cupcake and going, man, I could really use some gravy, and pouring that gravy all over that cupcake. It's
not like that at all. I'm pretty sure God specifically put milk on this earth so that we could put it in coffee. Pretty sure that's the reason that exists.
I'm pretty sure God put you on this earth to test me.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I think so too.
It's like you could just have something that's sweet, and you could just have coffee. Instead, people go, man, I want this sweet thing to be so incredibly, remarkably, undeniably sweet that even when I pour coffee in it, it still tastes like I'm going to go into a sugar coma. Those are the kinds of things that you people drink. All the time, you're like, here, at least try it. Try this new thing that I have. And you hand me this drink from a coffee shop that we've gone to. Yeah. And it's like, this doesn't taste like coffee.
Vanilla lattes.
It tastes like a dessert.
It's great.
I don't want a dessert when I wake up in the morning.
Why? Sugar happy times makes tummy go yum yum.
No, it doesn't. It makes tummy sad.
Speak for yourself.
We have had conversations when you have like too much sweets, like ice cream or something.
That's the thing. I don't particularly love sweet things a lot of the time. Like I enjoy like eating some sweet foods, but I don't just like. I would almost always choose to eat something savory over something sweet in almost every circumstance. Like if I have the option at a meal of eating more of the savory food that I have or having dessert, I'm almost always just going to choose to eat more of the savory food.
Same. I do the same thing. I will often eat the sweet thing first so that the last thing I have is like the spicy chicken because it tastes better.
Right. But what I don't want to do is consume things that just taste like bitterness
It doesn't. It's
if I wanted to drink a cup of sadness and unfortunate anger towards other people, great, I would drink coffee with nothing in it. Just black. Get it? Bitterness? Holding a grudge.
That's racist.
That's the flavor of coffee with nothing in it. It's the flavor of holding a grudge against people.
No, it's the flavor of being awake in the morning.
God said don't do that.
It's the flavor of being awake in the morning and being happy.
God said don't hold grudges against people, and drinking black coffee tastes like holding grudges against people. So you actually hate God because you drink black coffee.
Wait. So like holding grudges against people tastes better when you put milk in it? Like if you're just really upset with somebody, just splash some milk all over them. Anymore. It'll be fine.
No, it's not what's going to happen. You put milk in it, and you put sugar in it, and suddenly it's sweet, and you're sweet, and you're not holding grudges against people anymore because it tastes like happiness.
So if you're holding a grudge against someone, dump sugar on their head and then pour milk over it. They'll appreciate it. They will tell you thank you.
I said it tastes like holding a grudge, not that it is holding a grudge. It's not a literal. It's not an exact literal metaphor. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Literal metaphor, is that
it's
a
a
thing?
bad metaphor, is what he's saying.
Which is if you have to explain the metaphor, you don't have to use it.
Which is why what he's saying.
Yeah.
Doesn't
That's what I said earlier.
sense.
I mean, I think you just don't want to admit the fact that drinking black coffee means that you hate God. So
no, it's the way that God intended for us to drink coffee.
No, God gave us multiple. That's like saying God only intended us to eat foods by themselves and never mix them together as a recipe.
It's like saying God intended us to have cornbread, not cornbread casserole, because just plain cornbread tastes better.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, corn casserole. I could eat a whole crock pot of just corn casserole. It's so good.
So, first of all, corn casserole and cornbread casserole are two different things.
That's not true.
If they're not two different things, somebody messed up.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you put cream corn and cornbread mix and like a couple other things into it, and that's
cornbread casserole.
Okay, well, that's the only corn casserole I've ever had.
See, this is another
corn
instance
casserole
where
are you using?
Ohio educations.
I don't want to hear it from you. You're from Michigan. You literally the only way you know how to tell people where you live is by looking at your hand.
No, it's not the only way.
Like, oh, look at me! I live on the left pinky.
Because I know which way the sun faces.
Michigan.
I know the cardinal directions.
I have a compass. Idiot.
You have a compass that tells you the cardinal directions?
Actually, I know where the cardinal directions are as long as I'm relatively near Indiana Wesleyan University. You know why?
What about the position of the sun?
Because I know where South
Given
Hall
the time
is.
of day.
And I know where North Hall
Wait a minute. You're telling me that the only reason I know where things are is because I can point at my hand, but you can't tell me which way is north without knowing where South Hall is?
In what world, in modern society, why do I need to know which direction I'm looking?
That wasn't the question. That wasn't the question. You said that was the only reason I knew where I was. Yep. This is what I live with. Help.
He's old and dumb.
Anybody
I don't know
listening.
What to do.
He's just.
He's
if
like,
the
oh,
zombie
I know all these
apocalypse
things.
happened,
I'm like, you don't need to because the internet and society exists.
But he might die. I mean, like, I might get really tired and take a nap sometime, and then he would die.
But see, like, if the zombie apocalypse happened, whatever. Take me. I don't care. I don't particularly care. Whatever, man.
That's sad.
Like what?
Now we're going to talk about therapy.
It's not like I have a will to die, but like if the zombie apocalypse happens, we're going to die eventually.
Maybe. I mean, we all die eventually anyway. But
it's
like,
die eventually or
die because of the zombie apocalypse?
Life.
No. You can still live a great life.
Can you?
Yeah, you can live a great life without technology.
Well, yeah,
but fantastic.
It's not just about
Think
technology.
About it. There's less people in the world. You know what that means? More time to read.
Yeah, reading's boring. Reading sucks. Why would I read something when the internet could tell it to me in a video?
The internet's not running anymore. Unless we're going to grab Matthew.
Then I guess there's way less information that I need. Seriously, I would just like rather have less information. Like if we didn't live in an internet society, man, things would be great.
I know.
I would just we wouldn't sit around on our phones. I wouldn't feel the need to know everything that's going on all the time.
And yet you make fun of me for switching to a flip phone.
That's why I just come home and put my Apple Watch on the charger, because if I'm not wearing my Apple Watch, I just don't know if anybody texts me. Like if you're texting
What are you talking about? You come home sometimes, you put your Apple Watch on the charger, but then you sit on the beanbag on your phone. It looks like
but
this.
like if I'm going about doing my thing, if I'm just like, yeah, because sometimes I'm tired and I just scroll through memes like an idiot.
And someone goes, "What you looking at, buddy?" And he goes,
"Memes."
Memes.
Yeah, because sometimes memes are funny.
And then he.
But like the majority of the time when I'm home and just doing whatever I want to do, I just like forget my phone exists for a while because I don't care. Sometimes intentionally I forget my phone exists, and I'm just like,
that's true. It's always nice when we go hiking.
Right. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I put it in my pocket. I leave my Apple Watch at home.
I sometimes just leave my phone in the car.
That's fine. I just don't do that because we're in the woods. I'm like, it's probably a good idea to have something on us.
I know, but like if other people have their
right,
phones,
like you don't need to. Like, we don't all need to bring them.
Although
I like
mine
to take
is
random
the most
pictures
likely
and
to
videos.
be fully charged when we get there. So I guess realistically, I should probably bring it. Well, not kind of.
I mean, you do have the best battery. I've had my phone for a few years, so it's.
Well, even if I didn't, though, I generally use mine.
You use your phone less than we do. Yeah.
Well, and I use things that drain the power more less.
Right. Because like I watch a lot of YouTube or have it playing in the background or whatever. But yeah, it also depends on when I've gotten up for the day and see how much my phone's been used. I mean, I can't tell you what my phone's at right now. It's probably down to like 70 something because it's recording the podcast.
Is recording like high quality audio.
Yeah.
Mine has 100%, and it's been off the charger since 8 o'clock this morning.
Right. I'm thinking about getting my battery replaced sometime soon because I've had my phone for 2-3 years now, and battery.
Well, I have good news for you.
The battery health's down to like 80% of its max capacity, which is like fine. Like I'm making it.
What plan do you use?
Phone plan?
Mm-hmm.
Visible by Verizon.
By Verizon?
Yeah.
You might be able to just take your SIM card out and pop it right into that flip phone.
Gosh, no.
And that battery lasts for days.
Yeah, but I don't want to use a flip phone.
I've taken that on 3-day camping trips
be able
and still had 70% power when I got off the island.
But like, I want to listen. I want to be able to listen to Spotify wherever I am. I can't really do that with a flip phone. That's literally like, I use Spotify so much.
I got news for you. They just released a new Walkman that's digital.
But does it have Spotify on it, or do I have to buy all the music?
And you know what? It's only $900.
I was gonna say, because if I have to buy all the music for it, it's just not worth buying. I'd rather keep paying for my Spotify.
$900.
I don't know. Technology prices are stupid, dude. It's stupid at this point. The amount of money that phones cost. Like I bought one phone brand new in my entire life, and it was like the Pixel 3a, which at its most expensive point was $350. Like I
bought this used.
Yeah.
For like $350.
Yeah. There's no reason to spend $1,000 on a phone unless you just really, really want it, I guess. But like I bought an iPhone 11 when the iPhone 14 or 15 came out.
Yeah,
because
it's like buying a new car. Why would you spend the money on a brand new car
when something is going to work just fine?
Just as good. And it's going to be like less than half the price.
Refurbished technology is the way to go. Back market, I got my Apple Watch on back market, which is all refurbished technology, for like $150 instead of the $400 that it would have been brand new. I've been using it for a year and a half, and it's still just fine. Like, man, buying brand new things is... I mean, like, I get it with phones, because if you buy it one time, it'll last you several years, and you won't have to buy it for a good long while, but $1,000 on a phone, man, that's insane. That's insane. But anyway, that's about all the time we have. We're at about an hour and 7 minutes now, so...
We went
our longest episode to date. They've been.
It's because
they're between an hour.
We had 15 minutes left, and we started
talking about coffee.
We started talking about coffee, which we could honestly talk about for an entire episode.
We could keep going.
Yeah, maybe we should do that sometime.
We'll probably go through it
talk
eventually.
about our favorite coffees.
Yeah, we'll write it down on the list. I have a note going in my phone of things we can talk about.
Nice.
But there was just some things I didn't want to talk about today. So.
Fair.
But anyway. Yeah. Do we rock paper scissors for the outro?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty. Let's see if you win this week. You haven't won yet.
I'm gonna win. I've decided.
All right.
Ready?
2 out of 3.
How I'm gonna do it?
How are you gonna do it?
I'm gonna beat you. This is what's gonna happen. All right.
Great.
2 out of 3.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, that's one for me.
But see that's the practice one. See, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
That's 2 for me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to episode 4 of the Traffic Barrel podcast. Tune in next week.
Please.
Same day on Saturday. Feel free, share this podcast with your friends. I'm sharing this podcast with my friends because it's my podcast. So we have a lot of fun making this show.
We would probably have
I know. But it's we have a great time making this podcast. So if we can get more people to listen to it, that'd be awesome. So tell your friends. Leave a comment down below if you feel like it. I'll reply to it. I don't really have that much else to do on the weekends. So leave a comment. And thanks for listening. And we will see you next week.
Adios.
Later. Oh, do you think that? Did you listen to last week's episode?
No.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so what I've been doing with like 2 episodes now is because the camera always starts recording before I hit recording on here because I have to sit down. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the episode, I put a clip that just the camera recorded of us being ridiculous before the audio recording actually starts. It'll probably be this conversation now.
It'll be the conversation that we're having.
Yeah, I just clip a little bit of it out and I put it at the end of the podcast.
You should. That's
what I do.
That's great. Well, you should specifically clip this part.
I probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This part right here.
Do you remember how to do the intro?
No.
It's really easy. I say, I'm Luke McAvoy.
And I'm Tate Morris. And
you're listening to
the Traffic Barrel.
Let's practice this one more time, okay? I'm Luke McAvoy.
And I'm Tate Morris.
And you're listening to the Traffic Barrel Podcast.
Yeehaw.
See, there we go. That's all we gotta do.
That's all we gotta do.